Welcome to the Spider-Man rules video. My name is Nelson.
I'm Serge.
We're here to introduce and explain the new and returning mechanics in the set.
We want to thank our friends at Judge Foundry for helping sponsor this rules video. If you're interested in becoming a judge in the United States or Canada, head to judgefoundry.org to sign up.
How do your friendly neighborhood superheroes swoop in and save the day? In Magic terms, with the new ability, Web Slinging. Web Slinging represents an alternative cost. It means you may pay cost if you also return a tapped creature you control to its owner's hand instead of the normal mana cost. You may only use one alternative cost. If another effect allows you to play a card for a different alternative cost, including without paying its mana cost, you can't also choose to pay its web slinging cost. If any additional costs from other sources are applied, you must pay those. You must follow all normal timing rules when casting a spell with web slinging. The creature you return must be tapped at the time you pay costs, but doesn't necessarily need to be tapped before you start casting the spell. For example, you can tap a creature with a mana ability to pay part of the web slinging cost and also return that creature. If any permanent has an ability that triggers when the permanent you return leaves the battlefield, that ability will be put on the stack after you finish casting the spell, and will resolve before the spell.
Of course, the supervillains also have their own ability, but theirs is a lot more chaotic. Mayhem represents an alternative cost that can be paid to cast a spell from your graveyard if you discarded the card with Mayhem that turn. You must pay any additional costs the spell has. You must follow all normal timing rules when casting a spell with Mayhem. For example, you can't cast a creature card with Mayhem that doesn't have flash during your opponent's turn, even if you discarded it during their turn.
Double-faced cards are back, but Spider-Man is bringing some fun mechanical changes to how they work. The double-faced cards in this set are modal double-faced cards, which means you can cast either face from your hand, and they also have an ability that allows them to transform. Previously, modal double-faced cards couldn't transform, and you were stuck with the side you chose when you cast it. The new rules change allows modal double-faced cards to transform as long as the other face is a permanent. This change affects older modal double-faced cards as well. The mana value of a modal double-faced card is based on the characteristics of the face that's being considered. On the stack or the battlefield, consider whichever face is up. In all other zones, consider only the front face. This is different from how the mana value of other double-faced cards is determined. To determine whether it is legal to play a modal double-faced card, consider only the characteristics of the face you're playing and ignore the other face's characteristics. If an effect allows you to play a land or cast a spell from among a group of cards, you may play or cast a modal double-faced card with any face that fits the criteria of that effect. However, if an effect allows you to put a card with particular characteristics onto the battlefield without instructing you to play or cast it, you can only use the front face if it qualifies. If it does, it enters the battlefield with its front face up. Each face of a double-faced card has its own set of characteristics: name, types, subtypes, abilities, and so on. While a double-faced card is on the stack or battlefield, consider only the characteristics of the face that's currently up. The other set of characteristics is ignored. If an effect instructs a player to choose a card name, the name of either face may be chosen. If that effect or a linked ability refers to a spell with the chosen name being cast and/or a land with the chosen name being played, it considers only the chosen name, not the other face's name.
Like a recurring supervillain, Connive is back. Connive means draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Once an ability that causes a creature to connive begins to resolve, no player may take any other actions until it's done. Notably, an opponent can't try to remove the conniving creature after you discard a non-land card, but before it receives a counter. If an effect tells you to connive, but that creature has left the battlefield, the creature still connives. You will still draw and discard, but you won't put a +1/+1 counter on anything.
Modified is a returning mechanic that rewards you for investing in your creatures. A creature you control is considered modified if it has at least one counter on it, if it's equipped, or if it's enchanted by an aura you control. An aura controlled by an opponent does not cause a creature you control to be modified. However, a creature with a counter on it is considered modified no matter what kind of counter it is, or which player put it on that creature. A creature that is equipped is considered modified no matter who controls the equipment that's attached to it. That's it for the rules. Thanks again to Judge Foundry for sponsoring this video.
And thanks for watching.
Web slinging. Web slinging. Web slinging.